You have to do whatever you can to think about different variables and edges that you could have to attract top talent. Doing something drastic like this could be enough to cut yourself away from that noise to get an influx of high quality talent and people wanting to work there. Hello, and welcome back to another video. We're gonna talk about something a little bit broader, but something that's more exciting and relevant to what's happening in the corporate work landscape. Is a shorter work week actually possible? Is it something that can happen in the near future? And so this is a topic that it's fascinating. A lot of exciting things and news are happening right now, and excited to kind of dive into it and share with it. So in this video, we're going to talk about how a shorter work week can transform recruitment and what are the implications behind it. On March 13, 2024, right, Senator Bernie Sanders introduced a bill advocating for a transition from a traditional 40-hour work week to 32-hour work week in the US. This proposal aims to redefine work-life balance, prioritize employee well-being, and adapt to evolve trends in the modern workforce. So the purpose of today's video is really to dive into the intricacies of this 32-hour workweek bill and thoroughly analyze its potential impact on talent recruitment within various industries. So here are some of the key points of Sanders' bill. So number one, reduction of work hours. Basically means transition from 40 to 32 hours per week. Number two, a phase-in period. The reduction of work hours will be phased over 4 years, giving time for businesses to adjust to the new schedule. And lastly, overtime compensation. So workers that exceed 32 hours per week should still be eligible for overtime pay, ensuring that they are compensated fairly for additional hours worked. Sounds reasonable? What are your thoughts? So what are the impacts on employee well-being and productivity? Well, studies, including one in Britain, have shown that a shorter work week can lead to less stress, increased focus, and higher job satisfaction among employees. You're working less, so the time that you are working, you are really putting in your all, and you can have more output and be more productive. What do you think? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Some companies also report a steady or increased revenue during a trial of a 32-hour work week, which is possibly huge. And proponents of this bill argue that a 32-hour work week will lead to a better work-life balance, increasing time for family and personal activities and improving well-beings for workers. The employee preferences and recruitment advantage. Well, a couple things. So offering a 4-day work week has become essentially a competitive advantage for companies in attracting and retaining top talent. I mean, who does not want to work on a Friday? Me or a Monday, right? It demonstrates an understanding of the employee's needs, empathy, and can set a company apart as an employer of choice. So there are several other benefits. Number one, obviously attracting talent. Many job seekers prioritize work-life balance and flexibility when considering job offers. A 4-day work week addresses these preferences by providing employees with more time for personal activities, relaxation, pursuing interests outside of work, and zenning out. Job candidates are more likely to be drawn to companies that offer such flexible work arrangements, especially if they value healthy work-life balance over other perks. Retention of existing employees. Retaining talented employees is crucial as attracting new ones. So employees who feel valued and supported in achieving a balance between work and personal life are more likely to stay with their current employer. Offering a 4-day work week demonstrates that the company prioritizes employee well-being and recognizes the importance of accommodating diverse lifestyle needs. This can obviously lead to higher job satisfaction, increasing loyalty, and lower turnover rates. It's also a competitive advantage in the market. Companies that implement a flexible working arrangement can gain a competitive advantage. How? Well, they position themselves as progressive, forward-thinking, who are responsive to evolving employee preferences and social trends. This positive image can attract a wider pool of candidates, including highly skilled professionals who actively seek out workplaces that support their overall well-being and offer a conducive work environment. There's also employee engagement and productivity. When employees basically have more control over their schedule and sufficient time to recharge, they are more likely to be engaged, motivated, and focused. This heightened engagement can lead to increased productivity, better quality of work, and overall organizational success. Lastly, cost savings and efficiency. While not directly related to recruitment and retention, it's worth noting that a 4-day workweek can also lead to cost savings and efficiency operationally. Reduced office hours can lead in lower utility costs, less wear and tear on equipment, and potentially fewer overhead expenses associated with office maintenance. Employees may experience improved work-life balance, leading to lower absenteeism, higher job satisfaction, which indirectly contributes to organizational efficiency and performance.
Did you just start your own recruitment agency and are struggling getting your own clients? Are you thinking about starting your own agency but afraid to make the jump? Do you have your own clients but you're struggling to find the perfect candidates fast? Do you have a full-time job and want to do recruitment part-time to make more money on the side and have no idea how to? If you answered yes to any of these questions, please consider joining our private community. It is a trust-based community where recruiters around the world can support, collaborate, and work together on placements all around the year consistently. In this community, you will directly have access to the real open jobs of my team and of our members, and you will also have the chance to access trainings, events, giveaways, and much, much more. If you are part of this community, I communicate and work with you as if you were on my own team, and I'll do whatever I can to do a placement together with your client or candidate. So if you're struggling to get your own clients or candidates and you want a way you can make sure you can be busy all year round by having access to many more open roles, then this is something you need to look into. This is open to people around the world and is open for recruiters in every industry and experience levels, as we will always have a good number of variety of open jobs across sectors, markets, and industries. I'm really happy to say that within the first 30 days, we have already have a new member with minimal recruiting experience do his first placement that had a total fee of almost $30,000 US, and we are working hard to do many, many more this year. If you are interested and excited, there are only a limited number of spots open, so make sure you sign up quick at patreon.com/recruiterpreston. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Discord. We can set up a time to chat. See you on the other side.
Now, what is the historical context in labor movements? Well, the proposal rekindles discussions about the history of work hours in the United States, including the evolution from longer work hours to the establishment of a 4-day work week under the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. The Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, basically establishes the minimum wage, overtime pay, record keeping, and child labor standards affecting full-time and part-time workers in the private sector and the federal, state, and local governments. The push for reduced work hours has historical roots in labor movements, with unions advocating for better working conditions and shorter hours as far back as the 19th century. If you didn't know that, it's really interesting. The origins of the 5-day work week gained traction during the Industrial Revolution, particularly through Henry Ford and Ford Motor Co.'s pioneering efforts. In July 1926, they conducted an experiment at some plants, testing a 5-day work week instead of a prevalent 6, and this experiment eventually became a company policy by September of the same year. Going back to FLSA, it was enacted in 1938. It mandated a 44-hour work week, which was reduced to 42 in 1939, and eventually to the now standard 40-hour work week in 1940. And then, of course, going back to Henry Ford, basically has been contemplating the idea of a 5-day work week since at least 1916, which is really interesting, well before its official implementation. And his advocacy for shorter work weeks, increased leisure time for workers, contributes significantly to the nominalization of the 5-day work week. So understanding how the benefits that came from 6 to 5, can the same thing continue from 5 to 4? Now, what are some of the industry concerns and challenges? Well, number one, critics argue that industries requiring hands-on work may face challenges with a shorter work week. The shorter work week potentially impacting productivity in operations like healthcare, education, emergency services, manufacturing, customer-facing sectors, etc. Businesses in these sectors, they need careful planning, adaptation strategies, and stakeholder collaboration to effectively implement and manage a 4-day work week without compromising service quality or operational efficiency. So what are some industry-specific challenges, as you can see here? So under healthcare, you have continuous coverage. Hospitals, clinics, and other facilities typically operate 24/7 to provide continuous patient care. Implementing a 4-day work week can be challenging as it ensures adequate staffing levels throughout the week. The shift work, right? So healthcare workers often work in shift to cover different periods, including nights and weekends. Transitioning to a 4-day work week may disrupt existing shift schedules and require adjustments to maintain round-the-clock coverage. Patient care. Reduced workdays can impact patient appointments, emergency services, and overall accessibility in healthcare professionals. Ensuring seamless patient care and access to medical services become critical consideration. The education sector, school hours. Schools and educational institutions operate on a structured schedule, typically 5 days a week. Shifting to 4 days may necessitate extending school hours or making significant changes to the academic calendar. Teacher availability. Teachers play a role in delivering education and engaging with students. A shorter work week could affect teacher availability, classroom schedules, and the overall teaching learning process. Support services. Educational institutions often provide support services like counseling, tutoring, extracurricular activities. These services may need to be restructured as well. What about emergency services? 24/7 operation. Police, fire departments, emergency rooms operate around the clock to ensure public safety. Adopting a 4-day work week requires careful planning to maintain coverage, response to emergencies properly, and ensure public protection. Shift rotations again. Transitioning to a 4-day work week involves reorganizing shift rotations, training schedules, and resource allocations. What about critical response times? Delays or gaps in staffing due to a compressed work week can impact critical response times during emergencies. Balancing workforce availability and service delivery becomes crucial. So let's talk about manufacturing production. Production timelines. Manufacturing industries, they rely on consistent production schedules to meet demand, fulfill orders, and maintain supply. A 4-day work week may disrupt production timelines, leading to challenges in meeting delivery deadlines and customer expectations. Operational efficiency. Shortening the work week requires optimizing operational processes, equipment utilization, and workplace productivity to ensure client production with reduced hours. Maintenance and support. Manufacturing facilities often require ongoing maintenance, equipment servicing, and technical support. Adjusting to a compressed work week involves scheduling maintenance activities effectively without interrupting production schedules. Lastly, what about customer-facing industries like retail, hospitalities? Number one, customer service. Businesses in retail, hospitality, similar sectors prioritize customer interactions and service delivery. Reduced workdays impacts customer service availability, response times, and overall customer satisfaction. Peak hours and weekends. Many customer-facing businesses experience peak hours, weekends, and holiday rushes. Reduced workdays can impact customer service availability, response times, and overall customer satisfaction. Flexibility and adaptability. Customer preferences and demands may vary, necessitating flexibility in scheduling, staffing adjustments, and operational responsiveness to changes in customer traffic and trends. So what are the business concerns and perspectives, right? So some business representatives express concerns about the potential impact on small businesses, operational costs, and the need to hire more workers to maintain productivity. Bernie Sanders, he frames a proposal as a way to ensure that technological advancement benefits workers and address income inequality by promoting a more equitable distribution of leisure time and work hours. So what are some of the comparisons with existing work schedule trends? Despite predictions of a shorter work week due to technological advancements, American workers are actually working more hours than many other wealthier nations, earning less than they did 50 years ago. The trends towards a 4-day work week is gaining momentum. In recent years, several companies have successfully implemented the shorter work week, citing benefits like high quality work, improved employee satisfaction, and even environmental advantages. Companies like Wildbit, Perpetual Guard, and Microsoft Japan reported boosts in employee productivity after transitioning to a 4-day work week. This productivity increases is often attributed to fewer distractions, more focus during work hours, and improved work-life balance. Some companies have highlighted in potential environment benefits of a shorter work week, like reduced carbon emissions from the commuting and office energy usage on additional days off. And this whole overall shift, I think, is often intertwined with broader trends in remote, flexible work arrangements that really catapulted in the past 3 years. Companies like Kickstarter are leveraging the models to reduce their carbon footprint and enhance employee satisfaction, as an example. So what are some success stories? So this experiment occurred in 2022, but can still be relevant today. Thousands of employees are part of a groundbreaking experiment to test the 4-day work week, led by 4-day Global and associated with the University of Oxford. This initiative aims to assess the impact of compressed work schedules on productivity, employee well-being, and organizational performance. 38 companies spanning diverse sectors such as startups, tech, finance, professional services, manufacturing and restaurants, and nonprofits are participating in this program. Companies involved in the program, they underwent workshops focused on enhancing work efficiency, received guidance from mentor companies, experienced in 4-day work weeks, and collaborated with researchers to measure changes in key metrics such as productivity and employee satisfaction. The overwhelming majority of workers, 92%, they supported a 4-day work week, citing potential improvements in mental health and productivity. Many employees view the shorter work week as a competitive advantage and valuable perk that contributes to their overall work life and well-being. Joe Connor, the CEO of the 4-day Workweek Global, he highlighted the exponential growth in demand for shorter work weeks driven by shifting work dynamics during the pandemic, the Great Resignation, and intensified talent competition. He emphasized the importance of large companies to consider adopting a 4-day work week to remain competitive in attracting and retaining top talent. You have to do whatever you can to think about different variables and edges that you could have to attract top talent. Doing something drastic like this could be enough to cut yourself away from that noise to get an influx of high quality talent and people wanting to work there. So what are the outcomes? While the experiment is ongoing, participating companies like Kickstarter, for instance, acknowledge that the trial does not guarantee a permanent shift to a 4-day work week. We saw this happen in the past 3 years of the pandemic. A lot of companies went to full remote, and now they're bouncing back to like some sort of hybrid. The outcomes may vary, ranging from unsuccessful to successful implementations requiring minor adjustments or tweaks. All in all, this adds to a greater fuel and greater conversation as to, is a 4-day work week tangible? Is it reasonable? Is it something that can actually realistically happen? Or maybe a variation of it? Would love to hear your thoughts down below. I hope you like this video. I know it's not specifically recruitment related, but I also find it fascinating just living in a time where a lot of things that we take for granted, like a 5-day work week, could be changing. And it'd be great to kind of have a discussion and hear your thoughts. So what do you envision as the future of work and work-life balance in the coming years? Do you believe in it? Do you not believe in it? We'd love to hear from you below. If you like this video and want to see more like it, feel free to give us a like, subscribe, because that bell would really mean a lot. Thank you so much again. We'll see you on the next one.